Let me be honest with you from the start. I am not a doctor, I am not a health expert, and I am definitely not a scientist. But I am someone who talks to people every single day for a living, and over the years, I have had some really eye-opening conversations with students, especially the older ones, that made me think seriously about my own brain health. So today I want to talk about something that I find genuinely fascinating and also personally important to me. I want to talk about why learning a new language, especially when you are over 60, might be one of the best things you can do for your brain. And I also want to talk about why this matters to me personally, even though I am still in my 30s, because the truth is, it is never too early to start protecting your mind. So let me start with something I noticed from my own experience as an online English tutor. A big portion of my students are older adults, and many of them are not studying English because they need it for work. They are retired or close to it. They have already had their careers. Some of them are grandparents. And yet, there they are every week, showing up to practice English conversation. When I asked a few of them why, the answer was almost always some version of the same thing. They said they want to keep their brain active. They said their doctor recommended it, or their family encouraged it. Some of them told me directly that they are worried about memory loss, and they heard that learning something new and having regular conversations can help slow it down. And honestly, hearing that from real people, not from a textbook, not from an advertisement, but from actual human beings sitting across from me on a screen, that hit differently. It made me pay attention. Now, from what I have read and heard, and again, I want to be clear that I am sharing general information here, not medical advice, there is a growing body of research that suggests learning a second language is one of the most demanding and rewarding mental workouts a person can do. And this is true at any age, but the benefits for older adults are particularly interesting. When you learn a language, your brain is not just memorizing words. It is constantly switching between two or more sets of sounds, grammar rules, and vocabulary. It is making decisions about which word to use, when to use it, and how to arrange it properly. It is listening carefully, processing meaning, and producing a response, all at the same time. That is a lot of mental activity happening at once, and researchers believe that this kind of ongoing mental challenge helps keep the brain flexible and resilient. The term people often use is cognitive reserve, which basically means your brain's ability to adapt and keep functioning even as it ages. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it in challenging ways, the stronger and more durable it becomes over time. But here's the part that I think gets overlooked, and this is the part that personally means a lot to me. It is not just the language learning itself that matters. It is the social connection that comes with it. When my older students show up for their English lessons, yes, they are practicing vocabulary and grammar. But they are also talking to another human being. They are sharing opinions, telling stories, asking questions, and being heard. And from what I understand, that social piece is just as important as the mental workout, maybe even more so in some cases. There is a pattern that I have heard mentioned more than once, both from research summaries I have come across and from students who work in caregiving or healthcare. The people who tend to struggle the most with memory decline as they age are often the ones who became very isolated. People who lost their social circle, who stopped going out, who had fewer and fewer regular conversations over the years. Isolation is not just emotionally painful. It seems to have real effects on how the brain ages. And on the flip side, people who stay socially engaged, who keep having meaningful conversations, who continue to learn and grow, tend to show more resilience when it comes to cognitive health. I will be honest with you about why this matters to me personally. I live alone. I live in the countryside in the Philippines, away from my family, and most of my close friends are either far away or connected to parts of my life that I have had to step back from for my own mental health. So my daily conversations, the ones I have with my students, have quietly become one of my main sources of human connection. I know that might sound a little sad to some people, but I actually think it is one of the more unexpected gifts of this job. Every class I teach is not just work. It is also a real interaction with a real person, someone from a completely different country and culture, sharing a few minutes of genuine conversation with me. And I think that matters, both for them and honestly for me too. On top of that, I have my own reasons to take brain health seriously. I already have diabetes and hypertension, which are two conditions that doctors often mention as risk factors for stroke and other complications. And I will be very honest, one of my quiet fears is not death exactly, but the idea of losing my ability to function independently. I live alone. I do not have a spouse or children. I do not want to end up in a situation where I cannot take care of myself, and I have to rely on people who are not good for my well-being. So anything I can do now in my 30s to protect my brain and body for the long term feels urgent and important to me. Learning Japanese and Korean, which I am genuinely doing right now even though I am still very much a beginner, is part of that. It keeps my brain working hard. It gives me something to look forward to. And it connects me to the cultures of the students I talk to every day, which makes those conversations richer and more meaningful. For anyone watching who is older and wondering whether it is too late to start learning a language, I want to say this as clearly as I can. From everything I have read and heard, it is not too late. The brain is more adaptable than most people give it credit for, even in older age. Starting something new is challenging, and that challenge is actually the whole point. The discomfort of learning, the moments where you cannot remember a word, the frustration of getting the grammar wrong. All of that mental struggle is exactly what makes the activity valuable. You do not have to become fluent. You do not have to pass a test or impress anyone. You just have to keep showing up and keep trying. And if you can combine that language learning with regular conversations with real people, whether through a class, a language exchange, or even a video like this one, then you are giving your brain two powerful things at once: mental stimulation and human connection. That is a combination worth taking seriously. For those of you who are younger and watching this thinking it does not apply to you yet, I would gently push back on that. The habits you build now shape what your brain looks like decades from now. The time to start challenging your mind, building social connections, and learning new things is not when you are worried about memory loss. It is right now, while you still feel like you have all the time in the world, because that time moves faster than you think. I know this from experience. I spent too many years waiting until I felt ready, until things were more stable, until life calmed down. And now, in my late 30s, I am catching up on things I wish I had started sooner. Language learning is one of them. So whether you are 65 and picking up a new language for the first time, or 30-something like me still figuring things out, the message is the same. Keep your brain busy. Keep talking to people. Keep learning something, anything that makes your mind work just a little bit harder than it did yesterday. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. And if a conversation class with a tired but very honest tutor from the Philippines counts as part of your brain health routine, well, I am genuinely glad I could be part of that. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, subscribe to help me hit my 2,000 video goal. This is my unfiltered diary of solo living in the Philippines, from the tough days in the ESL classroom to my journey learning Japanese and Korean. Yes, I'm still a beginner. If you'd like to support my work and my retirement fund, check out the Buy a Treat for My Pets link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next update. Thanks for being part of the journey.
See you then.